Hey guys, how are you? It's Orlando here from the 25% Tip Show, sharing with you how, as a server, I normally go from the expected 18 to 20% tips to 25% or more. Last night, I walked away with 28% of my tips from the sales that I made, including one table that gave me a 37% tip. And here's what happened. We're in the middle of a wait last night because of COVID regulations in different states, including ours right here in the state of Maryland. You cannot sit more than 10 people or more than 6 people in a party. So if there's more than, even if it's 7 people, you have to split them into 2 tables. Hopefully, that will be in the same section as you. That would be great, but sometimes that does not happen. Last night, I had a 3-table section, as you get in most chain restaurants, and 2 of my 3 tables were sort of kept apart but reserved for a party of 10. The first 6 of the 10 show up on time, and they're already at the table. They first inform me that they're going to wait until the rest of the party gets there so that they can order. A little bit of time goes by, maybe about 20 minutes or so, and they decide to order. They had a couple of kids just so that the kids can get going, and actually everybody at the party ordered. Now it's about 45 minutes, and the rest of the party, the other 4, had not shown up yet. And at that moment, they inform us that it's going to be actually 2 more people as opposed to 10. So now it went from 10 people to 8. 5 minutes later, the manager comes back. We're in a deep wait. We've held your table for 15 minutes. If they don't show up in the next 5 minutes, we're going to take your table away. Realizing that the rest of the party was still not here, and that may take longer than 5 minutes. 2 of the members of the original party now sat in where the other table was, expecting the other 4. Now I have what was originally a 6-tub into now a 4-tub and a 2-tub, hoping that somebody would get here. I realized automatically that this was not going to be the best of nights for me. Of course, I'm not going to have the greatest amount of sales, and given that it's going to be a while until 2 of my tables are freed up, what I decided to do was to invest the most of my time and genuinely care for what's going on at that table. I took their order. I made sure that the order was run properly, but as happens often, especially when a restaurant is busy, one of the meals did not come up correctly. 2 of the people at that table ordered steaks. One of the steaks came out perfectly and cooked perfectly. The other one did not. And here's what happened. The steak ended up getting sent back 3 times before it was actually made correctly. It was so long, or there was so many issues with this particular meal. Granted, a little bit had to do with the guest itself being a little bit picky into what they wanted to eat and how they wanted it cooked. But it took and by the way, of course, as any restaurant would do at that moment, after the 2nd time, even though it took 3, the manager decided to give them the steak for free and just comp the whole thing, right? I mean, their whole meal. Because of this, the whole experience took so long that by the time this person's steak was actually cut correctly into their liking, the entire party had shown up. All 8 people were here. Everybody had eaten, even those 2 that were late, and they were still waiting on their steak. Right? It was just a very unfortunate situation for everybody. But again, my mentality was at this point was realizing that I was not going to have the turnover of tables that I normally would have. I decided to really invest the time in getting to know the party and making sure that they were taken care of as best as I could, and as much as it relied on me for them to be taken care of. Whatever happened in the kitchen, whatever the manager said, it's on them. But for me and for that party, my mission then became to genuinely care and connect with this table. The person that was going through the issue was a pregnant woman. She was expecting another child, so I think that had to play, that put a little bit into it. The person, thankfully, that got their steak made perfectly, it was their birthday, so I make sure that, I joked around, I sang happy birthday to them, we had a good experience, make sure that her drinks were always there on time and all this stuff. But one of the things that I did was it actually did sympathize with the pregnant women. I happen to have kids. I am a father of 2, so I understand how, frustrating it can be that you have, you're either expecting or have small children, and maybe your experience at a restaurant is not the best or the one that you were hoping for. So I try to connect with her as much as possible. I try to make sure that every issue and everything, every need that she had was met. Everybody at the table, every time they needed a box, a refill, bags, anything, it was there before they needed it, right? I was sort of anticipating their needs because, again, I'm not going to have as much sales, so I really was expecting or hoping that my service would bring out a larger than average tip. At the end of the night, as you could imagine, it was an awful experience. This party of 10 that ended up being a party of 8 that for the longest time was really a party of 6, ended up occupying 2 of my tables for about 2 hours and 15 minutes, almost 3 hours. And I'll be honest with you, their check was not the biggest check. It was $109. However, I did walk away from this particular party and I received a $41 tip, which ends up being about a 37% of the total check. That actually made the night kind of okay because I was able to also have one extra table that kept turning over, and that table, things kept going on time. That table was sometimes a 3-top or a 2-top or a 4-top, and I was able to turn that table enough so I can actually have an average night. But had it not been for the care and for the connections that I formed with that table, I don't think that would have been the case. They did leave saying that I was the best server they ever had. I'm not saying that to be pompous, just to sort of show you the experience I ended up having. Anyhow, again, genuine care and connecting with the table goes a long way. Hope it helps you out. We'll see you next time.